All right, we are ready to go.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the City of Sumner Council meeting. The date is August 3rd, 2020, and the time is 6:01. As a reminder, as we do all these meetings for a few months now, that the council members and staff are attending this meeting virtually, as City Hall remains closed during the Governor Inslee's Safe Start Order, consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic. And reminding the members of the public who are joining us to please mute your devices so you can eliminate the background noise. And I'd like to remind the council that the meeting is open to the public via the Zoom link, and the call-in information is provided via our website and also the council packet. With that, I would ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to attempt to do the invocation with Steve Starr, and I see his picture there, but so far I don't think he's responded to anything that I have said. And just sent him and asked to unmute, and he's very attentive, but nothing's coming through, Steve. That's what happens when you're in Arizona for part of the year. You lose these technical capabilities. Okay, well, Steve, we'll see you. Okay, and with that, I would ask Michelle to call the roll.
Potato.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Hayden.
Here.
Hochstetter.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
All council members are present, and then that would move on to the consent agenda. And I would ask Michelle, could you please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting of July 20th, 2020 and July 27th, 2020 study session. Item 2, approval of the checks and electronic payments in the amount of $1,316,983.17.
Okay, any council member wish to remove either of those two items from the consent agenda for separate consideration? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion by the deputy mayor for adoption?
I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Can I get a second from Councilmember Reed?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor of adopting the consent agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, please say nay. And the consent agenda is adopted. Moves us along to public hearings. There are no public hearings tonight, so then we will move on to regular business. And the first thing we have under unfinished business is resolution number 1559, which is the intergovernmental transfer of Station Lane parking lot to East Pearson Fire and Rescue. And I would ask for a motion for that item from Councilmember Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move we adopt resolution 1559 surplusing the city-owned Station Lane parking lot and authorizing the mayor to proceed with an intergovernmental disposition of the property to East Pierce Fire and Rescue in accordance with RCW 39.33.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Reed. Could I get a second by Councilmember Potato?
I second it.
Okay, I would call on City Attorney Andrea Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Before you tonight, and I hope that you can see my screen here, is a resolution to surplus the parking lot just south of the current Sumner Fire Station through an intergovernmental transfer of the property directly to East Pierce Fire and Rescue. And as a reminder, a formal public hearing took place on July 20th. We had no members of the community contact the city or submit comment either orally or in writing, but it was properly noticed. And if this is approved, council will be authorizing staff to continue negotiating with East Pierce Fire and Rescue regarding the sale and transfer of the property. And in the future, a purchase and sale agreement would be before council for approval.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Any council members have any questions for Andrea or statements? Okay, seeing none, and as Andrea stated, we have already had a public hearing on this particular resolution, so we won't be accepting public comment tonight. So I would ask that Michelle, you please call the roll.
Reed,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 1559 is adopted unanimously. Now we'll move on to public comment. And I do believe we have at least one person who would like to make or address the council. And I'll ask Michelle to read the rules in a second, but the public was also encouraged to submit their comments to city clerk by email before tonight's meeting. And the clerk would read any emails received in the record. Michelle, did we receive any?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. And I know that Zach Peterson has just raised his hand and would like to address the city council. So from that standpoint, Michelle, would you please read the guidelines for the public comment?
One moment, please. Now is the time for the public to comment on matters that are not on the agenda. If you're attending the meeting via Zoom, please raise your hand feature under Participants tab in the bottom right. Or if you're participating telephonically, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. Please wait to be called upon by the mayor before you unmute your computer, audio, or telephone. You will have 3 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address for the record. As a reminder, this portion of the meeting is the council's opportunity to hear from the community and is not a time to engage in debate.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. And let's see, I was gonna, did you unmute or allow Zach?
Yeah, I'm here.
You got him? Okay, Zach, you're there. Good. And it's up to you as to whether you want to be seen or not. You know?
Oh yeah, I'd love to be seen.
Okay. And I think, are you allowed, can you start your video on yours?
He should be joining shortly.
Okay, thanks you.
All right, I'm here.
Hey, there you are. Wonders. Welcome, Zach. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Zach Peterson, and I'm here tonight to propose something that I believe can help Sumner live up to its core mission. I've been very lucky growing up gay here. I have 4 moms, all LGBTQ people, and my family has always been accepting about my sexuality. I really thought this was normal when I was growing up, but really most LGBTQ people in Sumner are either not accepted by their families or are bullied at school because of it. Sadly, transphobia and homophobia are both very present in Sumner High School and this community. I mean, I still talk to SHS students who have severe mental health problems because of the lack of support. In light of this, I really believe that installing a rainbow pride crosswalk on Main Street can provide this city with the opportunity to embrace the title of a small progressive city. And I know Sumner can be that. Rainbow crosswalks are all over the state, country, and the world. They act as a way to show pride and support throughout the year, more than just a month. And Capitol Hill's crosswalks in Seattle are loved by the community, and LGBTQ people from all over the state go there just to visit them. Approximately each crosswalk costs Seattle about $6,000. And recently, there's been a transition from just rainbow crosswalks to pride crosswalks that have rainbow and a triangle with a transgender flag and black and brown stripes to show support for LGBTQ people of color. At this time, also with COVID and racial injustice happening and protests occurring around the city and the country, people are reckoning with where they belong in this community. And with school now online, people working from home, the lifelines that LGBTQ people had are no longer really accessible for the foreseeable future. And that mainly really is why I believe Sumner should show year-round support for people in this community. And I've emailed the Arts Commission, and Michael Hochstetter has responded. He is very supportive of this, as well as so many members in Sumner of all ages, sexualities, ideologies, and race. LGBTQ people shouldn't have to drive to Seattle to see or show pride. And I believe Sumner can show the same level of support and love as a small progressive city. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for sending that in advance. I really appreciate it, and the attachment with the examples that we have. And I also appreciate the fact that you reached out to the Arts Commission and Michael Hochstetter, because that was where my first thought went to, as they continue to have that sort of a physical demonstration, physical appearance of accepting, diversity and inclusivity. It is one of the, one of the things that we can do. So I just thank you very much for, what you presented and how you've reached out. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I would ask that if there's anybody else that is in participants attending the meeting who would like to address the City Council, please raise your hand through the participant function, or if you're on by phone, do it by *9. Okay, seeing none and hearing none, would end public comment.
Mayor,
Go ahead, Jason.
Mr. Steve Starr has his hand raised.
Well, by gosh, he does. The question is, he has his hand raised. Can he say anything?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me?
Well, I was going to say something like praise the Lord there, Steve Starr, but yes, we can.
I'm not even sure I need to pray now if you're praising the Lord. Good job.
Yes, Reverend Steve Starr, yes, the floor is yours.
Well, I just want to know if you wanted me to pray now that you can hear me. I think you were purposely.
I would, the chair would, although you missed that first opportunity, it is always a learning experience for people, and we'd be more than happy to have your invocation at this time.
I think I'm always out of order, so let's go ahead and bow our heads. Lord, thanks so much for the council, for the city of Sumner, for the chance just to do business. And Lord, I pray for this city. I pray for the country with so much division. I pray for unity. I pray for people walking together, no matter what color their skin is or their sexual preferences are. that they might walk together and show love with one another. Lord, give this council wisdom as they make decisions. And again, I thank you for them and the mayor. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you,
Amen.
Mayor.
Thank you very much, Steve. Okay, thanks, Jason, for pointing that out. Anybody else that would like to address the city council? Okay, this time I really mean it. We're going to end with public comment and we will move on to new business. And first one we have is the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee appointment, Burke. And I would ask for a motion by Council Member Hochstetter.
Yes, I move that we confirm the mayor's appointment of Dean Burke to Sumner's Lodging Tax Advisory Committee for a period of 1 year.
Thank you, Council Member Hochstetter. Could I get a second by Council Member Potato?
I second it.
Thank you. I would call on Communications Director Carmen Palmer.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I'm Carmen Palmer, your Communications Director. And before you tonight is a series of appointments that are done on an annual basis every year. That is done because the state law asks us to appoint to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee every year. So this is a little bit different than your other commissions. We have before you, also by state law, they regulate who can participate. That is a council member who serves as the chair, and that's Council Member Hochstetter. Thank you for your service ongoing. They also specify that 2 of the participants must represent organizations that collect this tax, and 2 of the participants must represent organizations who are eligible to spend this tax. This is lodging tax in most cities is a 7% tax that goes to the city for allocation. Sumner is a little bit different. There's a quirk in the law for Pierce County that if we didn't establish ours by 1997, which we did not, 5 of our 7% goes to Pierce County for allocation, and 2% of a shared revenue of a occupancy tax comes to Sumner. But the rules still apply as far as holding your advisory committee to recommend spending, and the rules still apply that the spending should be to put heads in beds. I just want to emphasize that for a lot of discussion about the tourism industry and lodging tax, they end with that put heads in beds. And that's actually not the end reason why the state has this tax and why we spend it. It's not just to be the marketing arm of our hotels. It is actually because driving a visitor from a day trip to an overnight stay significantly increases what they spend in your community. So from the state level, this is the biggest way to convert, to support local businesses, local stores. You want that head in that bed because it means a lot of funding and support for your businesses, which with coronavirus, our local businesses can surely need. So I will not give that introduction for each one. I just want to give that introduction up front for tourism spending. And then I will introduce each one. The first one before you that you've already had the motion and second on is Dean Burke. He is the head of Travel Tacoma. He actually, you might recognize his name. He was the head of the Sports Commission. And then recently those 2 organizations merged together. Needless to say, they've been going through some interesting times, but Dean brings the perspective of what does drive tourism. He's already supported, his organization is already supported with Sumner dollars through Pierce County, but his expertise in what drives tourism, he knows Sumner well. He's been very involved with me in conversations about our best bet to get overnight stays and more visitors. So he's a great addition to our Lodging Tax Advisory Committee.
Thank you very much, Carmen. Council members, any questions or comments on this particular appointment? Go ahead, Councilmember Potato.
I was just curious about how long is the term for the chair of the commission? Because it doesn't seem to have changed for a number of years, but I'm not sure of the history.
I believe you set that when you pick your committees. I'm looking at City Administrator Jason Wilson to help remind me on that.
That is the intent. I don't know that we've always been diligent about doing that.
Okay.
I don't recall us having that covered.
Okay. Any other questions or comments of council members? Councilmember Hochstetter.
I'll just state that Dean Burke is a great addition and he has been on it and I have worked with him and he is very knowledgeable and always works with a cheerful disposition. So he's a great person to have on the LTAC committee. So thank him for still wanting to be part of it with us.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Hochstetter. Any other council members? Okay. Anybody that is attending that would like to address the council on this appointment? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Potato,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Newman, Councilmember Newman,
That was a yes.
thank you. Hayden,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Hey, the appointment is unanimous. And that takes us to the next appointment, which is the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee appointment for Courtney Shore. And again, I would call on Carmen Palmer.
Sure. Would you like me to speak before the motion and second?
Boy, you even beat Jason to that one, and Andrea.
Why have them go off mute? I already.
That's a good one. Thank you. That was worth the price of admission right there. No, I don't want you to speak before we have a second. So I would call on Councilmember Hochstetter to make that motion.
Yes, I move. Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted.
Okay. I move that we confirm the appointment of Courtney Shore to Sumner's Lodging Tax Advisory Committee for a term of 1 year.
I'll second.
Thank you very much for the motion and the second by Councilmember Newman. Okay, Carmen, now.
Thank you. So Courtney Shore represents, in this case, she is representing the Sumner Arts Commission. A lot of what our efforts we have done, like with the downtown sound and coming up, are about creating that visitor experience, especially around Main Street. And kind of jokingly, but not really jokingly, call ourselves, the Leavenworth of that classic Main Street experience when it comes to visitors. So having Dean representing the tourism industry, having Courtney represent locally what the Arts Commission is doing creates a nice nexus there to make sure we're all moving in the same direction and working together. So that would be the appointment of Courtney Shore, who I know right now is working on the virtual Chalk Art Festival and Night Market. So there's a good example.
There you are. Thank you, Carmen. Any questions by council members? Councilmember Hochstetter.
I'd just like to say a few nice words about Courtney Shore. I worked with her on Nights on Ryan, and I found her just to have a really fresh approach and an open mind, and able to work with people in a committee setting very well. So I appreciate her lending her organizing skills to this committee also. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hochstetter. Any other council members like to speak to this appointment? Okay, seeing none, anybody that's attending would like to address the council on this particular appointment? Seeing and hearing none, Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, Courtney Shore is unanimously appointed to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. Brings us to the next one, which is the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee reappointment of Trevor Sutton. And I would ask this time for a motion by Councilmember Hochstetter.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we confirm the reappointment of Trevor Sutton to Sumner's Lodging Tax Advisory Committee for the term of 1 year.
Thank you. Could I get a second from Councilmember Reed?
I second.
Thank you very much. Carmen?
Yes, Trevor Sutton served with us last year. He is the Director of Sales for both the Holiday Inn Express and the upcoming, soon to open, I hope, Candlewood Suites in Sumner. So he represents that connection of not just one hotel, but the new one coming on board.
Hey, any comments or questions coming from council members? Comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, anybody that's attending would like to address the council on this particular appointment? Okay, seeing none, Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Newman,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Shadow,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Hochstetter.
Yes.
Well, Trevor is unanimously reappointed. Takes us to the next one. The Lodging Tax Advisory Committee reappointment involving Kim Straight. Could I get a motion by Councilmember Hochstetter?
Yes, I move that we confirm the mayor's reappointment of Kim Straight to Sumner's Lodging Tax Advisory Committee for the term of 1 year.
Can I get a second by Councilmember Potato?
I second it.
Okay, again, I would call on Carmen Palmer.
And last but not least, Kim Straight is the General Manager of the Summer Holiday Inn Express and Suites, and she has served for a number of years, and we appreciate her time and efforts. So I thank her for volunteering to do it again.
Good. Okay, questions or comments from council members? Go ahead, Councilmember Hochstetter.
I would like to thank both of the hotel employees. I know they have very busy jobs, but it's so important for us to have somebody from their industry and from our town and location to be on this committee. So I really thank them for giving their time generously to this cause. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hochstetter. Any other council members? Okay, seeing none, anybody that is attending the meeting would like to address the council on this appointment? Okay, seeing none, Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Peterson,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Kim Straight is unanimously, reappointed to the committee. Thanks to all of them in advance for the work that they will do. Moves us on to ordinance number 2742, which is an amendment to Sumner Municipal Code 9.12.095, exposing minor child to domestic violence. And I would ask for a motion by Councilmember Peterson.
I move to adopt ordinance 2742, updating the definition of family or household member to include intimate partner, consistent with changes made by the Washington State Legislature in 2019.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Peterson, for the motion, and the second by Councilmember Brown. I'd call on Chief Murky.
Actually, Mayor, it'll be me tonight.
Well, I'm going to call on City Attorney Andrea Marquez.
Thank you. You have to hear from me twice tonight. Sorry about that. So this ordinance 2742 updates code in a very minor but really significant way. 2 years ago, the city adopted a crime or made it a crime to commit domestic violence in the presence of a minor. And according to our code, a minor is anybody under the age of 16, and domestic violence crimes run the gamut, anything from verbal arguments to physical assaults. or no contact order violations. So it's a very important crime. It comes with a mandatory jail sentence. And it was important that our code be updated to address a change in state law, which amended the definition of family or household member. So this is a minor code change, like I said, but it will bring our definition of family or household member in line with a recent change to state law to make sure that this crime can be charged against anyone who falls into the definition of family or household member according to the new state law definition.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Questions or comments from the city council members? Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Anybody that is attending the meeting that would like to address the council on this issue? Okay, seeing none. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Hayden,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, it is unanimously adopted. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the last item under new business, which is resolution number 1560, setting public hearing on Station Lane right-of-way vacation. I would ask for a motion by Deputy Mayor Hayden.
Yes, I move we adopt resolution 1560, setting public hearing for September 8th, 2020 to discuss vacating public right-of-way located on the east side of and running perpendicular to Station Lane, abutting the south end of East Pierce Fire and Rescue Station 113.
I will
Very much.
second that.
Okay, got a second by Councilmember Brown. Thank you. I'd call on Assistant City Attorney Christy Palmer. Christy.
Good evening. I'm going to try to share my screen here and walk you through the area to propose to be vacated. So resolution 1560, hopefully you can see the map on my screen. It sets a public hearing to vacate a strip of right-of-way that's located at Station Lane, and it's just south of the fire station. And earlier in this meeting, we were talking about surplusing the property also to the south. So if you can see where my arrow is pointed, this is the area that we just surplused this evening. And this is the fire station. And this blue strip of land is an unimproved alley. It's about 6 feet wide across, and the city's never developed it. We don't really have need for it now and in the future. So we're proposing that the council set a public hearing to address vacating this. If it is vacated, it would go back to this parcel that's currently the fire station property. The fire district will then have the opportunity to purchase it to have it be part of that parcel. And this resolution sets the public hearing for September 8th at the regular council meeting. And then we would be posting notice of that hearing in accordance with state law.
Thank you very much, Christy. Questions or comments council members have regarding setting the hearing date? That's good. Okay. Anybody present that would like to address the council on this issue? Okay, seeing none. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Reed,
Yes.
Potato,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
The council unanimously sets a hearing date for this particular issue. Okay, now we'll go on to reports, city council reports. Potato, Councilmember Potato.
I just want to remind everybody to be sure to get your ballots in. Tomorrow is the deadline, so there's lots of choices, so get them in. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Potato. Councilmember.
Ooh.
Councilmember Brown. Yes, sir.
Oh.
Sorry.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Hayden.
I have nothing either.
Wow. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Well, I'll just tell everyone that I dropped my ballot by the Sumner Library drop box today. And for some reason, it always feels very rewarding. So everybody needs to get that thrill. So make sure and do that. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you, Councilmember Hochstetter. Councilmember Newman.
I'll skip the ballots since everyone's brought that, or since so many have brought that up, but I would like to thank Mr. Zach Peterson for testifying today. I know it's not like, I mean, it takes some bravery to do that. And especially in COVID, it's like a different type of experience, especially now. And I was kind of missing public comment and public participation during this. So and I also appreciate the homework that he did on the issue they brought forward. But anyway, I would just like everyone else to also consider testifying, like not being afraid to bring up any particular issue that they want to make sure that we are thinking about or noticing.
Thank you, Councilmember Newman. Good comments. Councilmember Peterson.
I'd second both the comments made. I'm particularly grateful to be a shining example state of how to vote from home successfully. So I think that's wonderful. And I'd love to see the idea of a welcoming crosswalk added to our next study session so we can talk about it as a council.
Okay, Councilmember Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Kind of like the message before about getting ballots in by tomorrow night. Also staying safe in the heat, not only for individuals, but making sure you're keeping your pets safe in the heat. And also thank you to Zach for standing up and speaking. It's not easy to do. So it's yeah, it takes a lot of courage to stand up and get your thoughts out there and speak in front of who knows how many people. But yeah, thank you to everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Reed. I appreciate Zach's how he managed the whole thing. It was very well done. Along the pet line, I just like to remember or remind Councilmember Reed that ducks also, chickens, excuse me, also need protection in the heat. So
they do. Shade and ice water works well.
Shade and ice water, yeah. You haven't had any repeated episodes of them just collapsing down in the lawn, right?
No, that was just a one-time thing. It was, I think they timed it. I'm not sure.
I think it was a protest. Yeah. Okay. See, I think that was the last one. Yes. City Administrator report. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things coming up on our agenda in the next few weeks. Next week's study session, we're going to be talking about the White River Restoration Project and giving council an update on where we're at with that. As many of you know, that's a very complex project that's very staff intensive, and we have some updates that we want to provide you and also just give you an overall update of where we're at with that project. After that, we're going to have a development services update. Doug Beagle will be going over some significant development activity that's been going on within the city, as well as talk about some of their reorganization plans that they've been going through this year as part of the overall city reorganization. At the next regular council meeting on August 10th, some policy issues coming up. First, you have an ordinance amending the water utility code, as well as resolutions adopting the sewer and water comprehensive plans. You'll be approving or asked to approve the purchase and sale agreement for the intergovernmental transfer of the Station Lane parking lot to East Pierce Fire and Rescue, as well as an ordinance that amends the Metro Animal Services budget to reflect some of the use of the donation revenues that you approved a couple weeks ago. As far as development activity goes, staff continues to be extremely busy with permitting. There's several residential and commercial projects that are in the pipeline right now. And like I mentioned, Doug will be going through those in more detail next week. Some other items I want to bring up as far as the pandemic response. The Sumner Cares program is continuing to offer rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. If you're interested in the details of that, please contact the Sumner Bonnie Lake Family Center at 253-891-6153. There's also information on our website on qualifications for that. The city continues to offer free business resiliency webinars focusing on social media marketing, and they're held every Wednesday. Visit our website for more information. The city and the school district have also partnered with Pierce County to provide free COVID-19 testing on Saturday, August 15th from 9:30 to 3:30 at Sumner High School. More information can be found on our website. And you can also visit the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department's site for other testing dates and locations. They're doing mobile testing pretty much every day or every other day for several weeks coming up, and many locations throughout the county. Some traffic impacts. It is construction season. It's summertime. This week, plan for impacts along Traffic Avenue as crews continue with utility upgrades as part of the Traffic Avenue interchange project. Also along Puyallup Street, it'll be reduced to one lane due to some utility improvements there. Concealed pistol licenses. As part of the pandemic, our public lobby has been shut down, but we have begun resuming issuing concealed pistol licenses to city residents. It's being done by appointment only, and you can call the police department to review the qualifications and make an appointment. And the police department's direct number is 253-863-6384. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Jason. Just really two quick things. I keep on watching our 14-day case rate per 100,000 population average and keep on watching it go up. You know, this last day, it looks like it's trying to level up, but as soon as I think that, then I go back the next day and it bounces up. So encouragement for everything that the health department and Dr. Chen is saying in terms of small social gatherings where you're getting together, people are getting together with either extended family or friends, and they're significantly contributing to the increase in the cases. And that, of course, also wearing masks. On ending on a real positive note, parklets. You know, go down to Home Charm Cafe and look out in the street and you will find a parklet, which accommodates additional dining, you know, for that particular business. And it's one thing to have parklets, but it's another one to have parklets that are designed and built by city staff and are, you know, very adaptable to changing curb heights and positions to where you can move them around, and they're works of not only engineering, but also works of art. So I know that Dan had a lot to do with it, and I can't remember who else, you know, but congratulations. It's pretty good. And I think, what was it? It reached as far as, maybe Carmen, if you're still on this, she may not be. Carmen, you still there?
I am.
Didn't it get picked up by, you know, some, I can't remember what city in the East Coast.
It was a citizen, and I couldn't tell where, but reposted ours and then tagged Kansas City, kind of asking them to do something similar. So within days of having it put in place, to have it go from Sumner to be recommended to Kansas City was quite an honor, I guess, for us. And South Sound magazine also called it very smart. So that was nice.
Anyway, it's nice, you know, just nice things to you know, to see happen to help, you know, address businesses in these very challenging times. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Yeah, I was out in front of City Hall, and I have a quick question for Mr. Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wilson, a citizen was asking me how they pay their utility bills if they're using cash, and I was unsure on what to tell them.
Yeah, that is more of a challenge to pay with cash. If it's exact change, they can certainly put it in an envelope and drop it in the utility payment drop box. They can also go over to Nicholson's and make a payment during the day.
Oh, I totally forgot about Nicholson's. That works.
Yeah, and Nicholson's will give you change back if you ask for it. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I don't have anything more to add. Nice evening outside. We do not have an executive session, so this meeting is adjourned at 6:46. Be safe, everyone.